Well, welcome to this month's episode of Let's Talk Tech. This time around, I am going to go through AI tools. I'm going to focus on 4 tools and give you a little taste in real time of what they look like and how to use them. And really, with AI, it's all about common sense and taking the right precautions so that you're not worried about it. Also, I'm going to be giving the broadband update about Ting and the progress that's being made on the fiber internet that is going into the community. So, this will be an instructional video along with an update video. So, stay tuned.
Technology is always moving forward, and sometimes we need to move with it. If you're a resident of Laguna Woods Village still using a ComLine or FEA email address, it might be time to make the switch. Services like Gmail offer more flexibility and convenience. Access your emails anytime, anywhere, whether you're on your phone, laptop, or tablet. Stay connected no matter where life takes you. Make the switch today and keep your inbox at your fingertips.
So, let's talk about AI. AI is all in the news and all around us every day. And there's a lot of fear and concern that is really not necessary as it comes to day to day use of AI. They are simple tools for your everyday tasks. And with the proper thought process, proper security settings in each of the tools, you are relatively safe using AI for things that I'm going to talk about here today. So, how can it help you save time, accomplish more, and you don't even need any technical expertise other than being able to click into a browser and into a window? So, why does AI matter to you? Well, it's truly time saving. I can attest to this. I started using AI a few years ago and I teach. I also write, I also create content, and it's really beneficial to me to save me time. And I have really enjoyed AI and the changes and the updates that have come through AI. As a matter of fact, what you see before you was created with an AI tool called Gamma, which is a tool that will create presentations along with a lot of other things, but I've used it for presentations. And I wanted to show you that here today. AI is always available. As long as you're on the internet, AI tools are there 24/7. Wherever inspiration comes, when you need quick help, a recipe, all types of things. And it's very cost effective because most of the tools have very robust free options. There are paid premium versions of most, but for day to day use, like what I'm going to talk about here, you don't need anything but the free stuff. So they're also really easy to use, simpler than a smartphone. You can ask questions in plain English. You can even, on some of them, activate voice and say what you want to ask and not even have to type it. There's no interfaces, nothing complex. I'm going to actually show you going forward in real time 4 tools that I find to be the best of the bunch right now. So let's first talk about ChatGPT. Well, that's what you hear about most, right? And it is really good. It is all about ease of use. It You do need to log in, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But think of it as a friend who's always there to give you some helpful answers for general questions, help you write something, brainstorm an idea, and some practical examples like planning trips or writing thank you notes or adapting recipes. You can actually tell AI ingredients from your refrigerator and ask it to create a recipe, and it will. So now let's take a deeper look at to ChatGPT. So here's ChatGPT. And it's best if you sign in. And if you're not sure you want to sign in with your account, I always recommend getting a Google free account that you're going to just use for newsletters, things like this, something that's, set aside from your own personal email if you don't want to share your personal email. So this is a tour. You can have a tour of ChatGPT ahead of time so you kind of get an idea, or you can skip the tour. And I'm going to skip the tour because I know what I want to do. So I want to create an itinerary so I can create an image. I can summarize text. I can brainstorm ideas. I can analyze data. I can put financial data in here. And again, I'm going to tell you, if you put in financial data, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you go to your settings down here, and you want to make sure that you have your security and data control. Improve the model for everyone. You always want to say no. Okay? That way, your stuff stays completely right in here and doesn't go out to the AI universe. So let's create an itinerary. Create an itinerary for a weekend in Temecula, California for 2 mature adults. And now, within less than 45 seconds or so, you'll see exactly what it's creating for you. Late morning, winery selections, evening, if you want to do balloons, olive oil, leisurely treats, all of those things right there at your fingertips. And that's just one of many, many things that you can do with AI. When you go to a new chat, let's just say I want to brainstorms ideas for my next vacation. Now it's going to ask me some questions. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? But within minutes, you will get information. So I hope you learned a little bit about ChatGPT, and I hope that you'll go try it out. So now let's talk about Claude. Claude is really good. I find Claude to be very effective for writing. I write a lot of blogs, I write a lot of content, I write a lot of articles, and I find Claude to be really, really efficient in doing that for me and helping me with taking my ideas in my head and making them coherent and cohesive. You can use Claude to organize your family history, put it into orders, talk to it, create your own history out of your memories and have it write it up in a form that can be shared with your family. Also, if you go to the doctor and you take notes, or there are notes from your visit and you need to know more information, you can copy your notes into Claude and it can help give you some clear explanations. And it can also do financial planning. I would be cautious with that, but that is one of the things it could do. So let's take a deeper dive into Claude right now. So Claude, I really like Claude. Claude is really good for conversation and writing stories. That's what I find it to be. So I can ask, let's say I want to ask it about giving a thank you note. And I had done that prior, so I'm going to tell you, write me a thank you note for my neighbor Jane, who just brought me delicious chocolate chip cookies. And here's, the thank you note that it wrote me for Jane. So super simple. Just right here is there. So, I mean, I think this is really amazing. So I hope you like Claude. Let's talk about Google Gemini and then Microsoft Copilot. Well, Google Gemini is always there, right? Everybody's on Google pretty much. In Google Gemini, you can go to Google Gemini directly and work with it, and I'll show you that. But I'll also show you how Google Gemini works just in search. We'll conduct a search using the AI tools built right into the Google Chrome browser. So it could give you updates on current information on Medicare changes, finding restaurants that have just opened, comparing smartphones when you're deciding which smartphone to buy. And you can get it at gemini.google.com, and we'll go there now. So let's take a deeper dive into Google Gemini. Obviously, Google is one of the most well-known tools around, and Google Gemini now is built into Google Chrome. So typically, if you write anything in the search, the very first thing that's going to come up is that Google is going to use AI tools to help find the information. It does identify itself as being AI though, so you don't have to worry. So let's, ask Gemini, save me time. So it says, I want to spend more time with my fans and family. How can I use you to be more productive? So it's answering a question about itself. It can optimize time management. It can prioritize tasks. It can time block, uh, streamline communication. All these things are just built right into this. So, give me a list of 10 things to save time. Prioritize ruthlessly. Use a 2-minute rule. Plan your day a week in advance. Batch similar tasks. Delegate. These are just things that it told me when I asked it about 10 things to save time. Now, if I wanted to go deeper into any of these topics, I can ask it, how can I help to learn to say no? How can I play? So let's take that. Let's copy that out of there and let's ask Gemini. Let's paste it. Now it's going to tell me some polite tips for declining. Be gracious, be brief, be clear, no guilt trips, wish them well. Scenarios. These are different things. Declining a social invitation, declining a request for your time, volunteering, project, whatever. I mean, we haven't even been here 2 minutes and it has given me all this information. Additionally, if you wanted to go to just Google and, search, do a Google search and go to just regular Google. So let me just get into Google search and ask it something, and it wants me to sign in, but I'm not. So I'm just going to say, tell me the history of cookies, cookie day. Oh, let's see, what do we want? Let's say Laguna Woods, okay? And now right away, the AI overview is going to summarize all of the information that it found using Google Gemini. It integrates Gemini into the Google search. And then of course you can go down, you can look at more, the key things, and again, dive deeper in AI mode or go to the websites. Again, super simple, super quick use of AI. Okay, well, I hope that you enjoyed your look at Google Gemini and also with the AI search that's built into Google Chrome. So now let's take a deeper dive into Microsoft Copilot. Of the 4 tools here, I'm going to tell you up front, it's not my favorite. It's very robust. If you are a Microsoft Office user, though, and you like Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, it is an excellent tool. It can help draft professional looking emails to companies, create organizational outlines, get help with spreadsheets. And so let's take a look at Microsoft Copilot. We won't do as deep a dive here though. We'll just take an overview. So now we're looking at Microsoft Copilot. I'm not going to log into Microsoft Copilot, but if you use Microsoft tools such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint on a regular basis, Microsoft's AI tool Copilot is probably something good for you to use. Personally, I have used it a few times. It's good. It's a little bit cumbersome for my needs. I find that ChatGPT and Claude are much more streamlined, much quicker, and much easier to get my answer right away without a lot of information. And remember, all of these tools today I'm just giving you an overview of using these tools and not being afraid to use these tools. So this is Microsoft Copilot, and you can even look at, it has videos on how to use it and different things like that. So Now that you've seen the tools in real time, let's talk about practical tips for success in using these. Be specific in your prompts. Instead of help me cook, try suggest a simple dinner recipe using chicken and vegetables or whatever it is in your fridge. And protect your privacy, okay? Across the board. Create if even if you need to create a special Google Gmail account that you're only going to use with these accounts or Gmail to use specific to this, I recommend that you do that because Gmail is free and you can isolate your AI use using just that email address and not mix it with any personal information. Never share social security numbers, passwords, sensitive details, birth dates, none of that. And make sure you go into the settings like I showed you and make sure that you're not sharing it outside into the AI so it can learn from your information. And verify important information. Always, no matter what AI gives you, if it's of a sensitive nature, if it's beyond a recipe or something that's more detailed and intricate, double check health, financial, legal advice before you make any decisions, and do not base your decisions solely on what AI told you. Um, I actually have something in my class where they have to go out and they have to use AI to research a topic and then also go research it on their own using Google Scholar and other online library type tools where they can investigate. And so I suggest that you do the same thing to make sure that the information and that you're using in decision making is the most clear and concise and not just AI based alone. And to start simple with everything online, technology, no matter what I've talked about over the past 5 years about technology, beginning with one of these tools only and start with basic questions to build your confidence up before you start to ask complex tasks of the tools. Those are the things that I really must stress to you. So, what are your next steps? Well, which tool should you try first? Probably I would start with Gemini or ChatGPT first. And then I would go to Claude and then to Copilot if you really want Copilot. But pick one, try them, see which one is the easiest for you to navigate and to use. And then choose one and work with that for a while. It will keep your historical, once you're logged in, it'll keep your historical archive of all of your different questions and chats. You are in complete control of those things. You can delete them after you use it, or you can go at any time and delete the history. You can export the history so that you have a record of it in case you can't get back into the account. But you are in complete control of the interactions that you have on AI with going to your privacy settings and your settings with the tool and making sure they're strictly set to the highest security level possible. And lastly, what do we do now? Well, try one tool this week. Ask it a simple question, see what kind of answer you get, and don't be afraid. You know, someone once said the only thing to fear is fear itself. And I think with AI, that's really the case. People are really fearful. Oh, it's going to know all my personal business. Oh, it's going to know all this stuff. Seriously, in today's world, if you've been online ever, if you have a driver's license, you know, privacy, data privacy is pretty much a thing of the past. Protecting yourself, as I've mentioned in prior episodes, is the number one thing. You are your own best firewall. Making sure you have two-factor authentication on all your accounts, making sure you change your passwords regularly, making sure you don't share any personal data anywhere. Those are the things that you should consider when you're using these types of tools. They are great help to people, and they are very, very good time savers and can really help with your day-to-day world. So please don't be afraid of them. Use one, try it, and see what you think.
Dental care in America is broken. If you need a dental implant in the States, you're looking at somewhere between $3,600 and up to $8,000, and that's per tooth. And for a full mouth restoration, you're talking somewhere between $40,000 and $100,000. The good news is there's a solution. That's where Hebidot comes in. We're not a dental clinic. We're a US-based one-stop solution for affordable, safe dental care right here in Mexico without the risk.
Well, welcome back. I wanted to give you a little update on the broadband project in Laguna Woods Village. So, we are making significant progress according to Paul Ortiz, General Manager of Broadband Services, and actually remarkable progress as far as how far we've already gotten. Um, there is a project manager, Alex, and he presented at the last ad hoc broadband meeting the timeline and what's happening. And just so you know, there is a big community awareness and outreach campaign about the entire project so that we want to make sure everyone's in the know. That's why I'm going to be bringing you some updates. I'm hoping to have Ting on the show in the future and have them talk about things. But there is a comprehensive plan in place to make everyone aware and do outreach. And rest assured that resident support is our number one goal as the committee, the broadband committee that I'm on, um, as an advisor, that we are trying to minimize disruption in the community, but we also want to make sure that you have the very best. And we're looking at accessibility and all the different things that come with our community and the uniqueness. We do have a couple construction partners, so you might see things outside like Hyper Networks or Luck Grove. You might see trucks or vehicles with that. Signage where the construction is being done is everywhere. There is going to be a dedicated project website that you can access. Ting has created this, and it's going to have construction updates and schedules, service information, pricing, installation process details, and frequently asked questions that people have, and of course, contact information. You know, I've talked about this before on the show, just about fiber internet in general and the benefit here and what that really means. And you need reliable connectivity. And the current system that we have is no longer something that we can update or keep to take us into the future. And this is a necessity. So fiber provides consistent, stable connections that won't slow down. You can call family, you can watch streaming, you won't have a disruption, which you may or may not encounter now. And faster speeds. I mean, they're going to give you lightning fast speed. Um, More than I have that I buy on the outside world. And you'll have 4K video. You can have telemedicine appointments. There's a lot of different things. And fiber is really future proof. You know, nothing lasts forever, but fiber infrastructure supports increasing bandwidth and more devices and more services as we become more and more internet dependable. And seriously, right now, we are completely dependent on internet for just about everything. So, what can you expect during this installation? Well, the crews are out there now installing, looking in the boxes to see what we have now, um, seeing where there's usable conduit and where they have to replace it, putting in the fiber lines. And again, they're trying to minimize your disruption. They're building connections, so the things that they're going to go to each of the manors. And eventually, when we get further into the project, there'll be individual unit installation. That's not today, but you'll be notified when it's your turn, and it could potentially happen towards the end of this year through 2026. I'll talk in a little bit about where to keep current on the dates. So, community impact is really important to us as the Broadband Ad Hoc Committee. We want to minimize the noise. We want to maintain all the access. We don't want to have anything that gets in your way and causes any problems. We want to keep the areas clean and tidy, respect your privacy and your property. And we still need to work to continue to keep the project on schedule. So, what happens next? Well, regular progress updates will be posted on the community bulletin boards, in the Laguna Woods Globe, in the Friday e-blast, on Village Television Channel 6, as well as the app, and on the project website that I mentioned earlier. The next open broadband ad hoc committee meeting is in early October, and it will be recorded, and that's where you'll get the most up to the minute information. I will be bringing various updates as well as part of the Let's Talk Tech show. Once they're able, they're going to have informational sessions for everyone who lives in Laguna Woods, probably at either the community center or in meeting rooms, potentially even the PAC, to learn about the services that you're going to get, the pricing, and to get your questions answered by both, village management services people, the project people, and Ting. And if you have questions about the project, there is a support number, or you can email lagunawoods@ting.com and ask your questions. Or, of course, you can contact Village Television, Paul Ortiz. He's going around the community. He's gone to the PC Club meetings. He's available for other clubs to go and talk about this project. Again, transparency, communication, and information is the goal of everyone working on this project.
The wait is over. A brand new pharmacy just minutes from your front door is now open. Service is our top priority at Laguna Pharmacy. Enjoy free same-day delivery, low over-the-counter prices, and personalized attention, all with the same copay you're used to. Tired of waiting on hold? Our experienced pharmacists answer your calls right away. We are in-network with most Medicare plans and make the transfer process easy. Visit Laguna Pharmacy today for the exceptional care you deserve.
Well, that's it for this month's episode of Let's Talk Tech. And it's always my pleasure to host this show and bring you new information. So remember, be kind when posting online, think before you click, and be sure to subscribe to my channels on YouTube for both Let's Talk Tech and Senior Travel Adventures. Thank you for watching.